Hey, what's going on, folks, and happy hump day. Thank you for coming to Variety and Errors, your source for currency information and bill searching videos, where we go through pocket money and see what we can find that's worth more than face value. I like money, you like money, and we've come to the right place. So let's kick it right off with this 2013 $20 note. Now, this is a double date note, and I know what you're maybe saying to yourself, because I do get this comment a lot, both on the website as well as here on YouTube. Kyle, double date notes are not really something I hold on to. They're not collectible. Just because it has 2 years in the serial number doesn't mean anything to me. That might be alright with you, but for me, I like to collect whatever comes my way. This one is not one I would necessarily hold on to, but it's a good example. So let's say those 2 dates spanned actually a chronological event in history. For example, a country's involvement in a large war, changes politically or socioeconomically, stuff like that. Then I would definitely hold on to it. For example, if it was a piece of US currency, and those 2 dates covered a period during the Revolution or something like that, then I would definitely hold on to it, just because it has historical value at that point. But here we have 2 dates, 1787 and 1227. Off the top of my head, I don't know anything that happened in those dates that's worthwhile to talk about right this moment, but I'll look it up and I will put it in the description box. But that's a double date note for you, so just a good example. Now, I sold a small trailer that I wasn't using anymore, so that's where I got an abnormally, this is about $600-700, which is not pocket change per se, but it's pocket change right now, because I haven't put it in the bank. Nothing on the back of that bill, so we'll keep on keeping on. Now, the next bill we have here is a 2003, so a little bit older $100 note. That would suck if I spent that as a dollar. Somebody would be very happy. Now, when I first looked at the serial number, I thought for just a split second we had a broken ladder, but my eyes deceived me. There's way too many 4s in there for a broken ladder, but a broken ladder would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, for example, or 8, mixed up in any order. So the numbers go in quote-unquote order, but they're broken up, so really I'm not really... Anyway, you get what I mean. A ladder would be ascending or descending order of the numbers in the serial number as they sit. So for example, 0 through 7, or 7 through 0. In this case, nothing really to talk about much now. I do have a $100 bill below this. That's the newer version that you're probably familiar with. Changes in these 2 bills are pretty readily apparent. Post the early 2000s, being this is actually one of the last series before they changed over to this note. They obviously did some graphics changes and whatnot. They kind of moved things around a little bit. They added the ink vial here and the feather quill pen there, as well as they changed the actual ink that they use for various portions of the bill. They also added the security strip here on the newer $100 notes as an anti-counterfeiting measure. Aside from that, the age-old things that you see on $100 notes are on the newer bills, just like they were on the older bills. Obviously, 2 serial numbers, a Federal Reserve seal, a Department of the Treasury seal, as well as your signatures of the Secretary and Treasurer of the Secretary of the United States, and then your normal denomination values. On the back of this note, same depiction of the Independence Hall on the back of the $100 note from previous versions of the bill. Now on this one thing that I do get questions on is, if you notice, you see this kind of heavy press through here. That's just from the front. You know, bills are printed intaglio, so some portions of it are printed in, some on. So that's common to see that. Now, I'll move a little bit quicker because we do have similarly 20s and 100s, so, you know, good deal. Now, this is another double date note, 1580 to 1625. What I do like about it is that it spans a 45-year period, but mainly we might be able to find something in history that lands during that time period, which would make this bill a little bit more collectible, aside from the fact that it's $100. Now, these are all in great shape. The gentleman definitely went to the bank and got these, so a lot of things that we usually go through have condition issues. Not so much here. Now you can see the major change in the back from the older note, graphically speaking, is the addition of this here. Once again, an anti-counterfeiting measure. Another thing that they added that was not previously on the $100 bill is you notice that there's no small denominations like other banknotes that we see more modernly. Up here is actually a constellation called Orion that's made amongst those small $100 annotations there. That's an anti-counterfeiting measure that's transposed across different denominations of U.S. Federal Reserve notes. Moving on. So, I mean, we'll set that guy aside because he is a double date note, along with our $20 note from earlier. Now, next bill, another $100 note. Condition, of course, once again, we're not going to touch on that too much because these are in great condition. Now, it is a little bit beat up at the top edge here. I do get a question on that from time to time. It's very small on this one, but you can see where that little grab mark is. That's when they feed it through the money counter at the bank. It has little teeth that kind of grab it and roll it through. You guys, I'm sure, have seen those tons and tons of times when you go to the bank and they count out change for you. So that's all that is. On the back of the note, really beautiful color. I do love the enhanced picture of Independence Hall. I mean, look how beautiful that is. It's just a very wonderful depiction of Independence Hall. I really enjoy that a lot. I like the enhancement of the graphics on most of the bills. Now we're on to another $20 note. This is a Series 2013 also. Nothing in the serial number. Lots of 4s, but I wish that they were combined together. That would have been nice for them to be clumped together. Now this one's a little beat up, so it's obviously seen its day in circulation. Once again, additions to $20 notes, newer ones, as they added some color-changing ink on them post kind of the early mid 2000s there. On the back of the note, let's see if anything's going on. We got a little bit of a press through here, which I'll bring closer. But once again, I mean, as I've mentioned in previous videos, if it's not something that's really super legible, I wouldn't call home about it. Now, I'm going to go a little bit quicker through the bills. Nothing in the serial number here. I don't see anything damage-wise or anything. Well, there's a little bit of a tear right there. On the back of the note, nothing really jumping out. I do get some questions about this little ink stray that's over here. You can see it kind of across here. Not dramatic enough for me to hold on to. Next bill, also nothing in the serial number. No date note yet as far as actual birthday note. Now, if that would have been like 03/17/1745, although somebody's not born or alive that was born then, they were. And that might be a historical date that we'd hold on to. Another Series 2013 note, so nothing to talk about series differentiation. Lots of spattering of some ink around, so I mean, now, one thing is, if you look here, you can tell this toning of that ink is a little bit blue. That's actually, that's not going to be a color that's used in the $20 note, and therefore I'm not going to hold on to it as something that has an ink stray or ink smear. Next bill is actually a nice star note. I absolutely love star notes. I had a $100 star note in a couple videos ago, so that's cool to have another one. Star notes are replacement notes, so something happened to this $100 note during production. They swapped it out for this bad boy here, and then they had to annotate that by dropping off the letter on the end of the serial number and put a star. Now this is in really, really good condition other than a little waviness here and a little fold up here. But I'm not necessarily going to hold on to this long. It is $100, so unless it was really collectible, I wouldn't hold on to it too much. But as a star note, I will hold on to it until I need to spend it. One nice thing I haven't really seen too much is this bleed through here from the serial number on the front, but it's not dramatic enough for me to really hold on to it for that. But I'll set it aside for its star note value, which is cool. I enjoy that. Next note, another $20 note, 2013, same deal. This one's a little more beat up than the previous ones. As you can tell, it's been folded both horizontally and vertically. Nothing in the serial number. Let's look at the back of the note. slightly. There we go. Now, I don't see anything on the back. A little bit of a press through the ink of the serial number, but nothing to call home about. Next bill, another $20 note. As I said, these are all hundreds and 20s, so not much difference there. This is also pretty folded up. This one's been folded multiple times to shove into a small jean pocket or whatever, a sock or a potato or whatever the person kept their money in. Let's look at the back of the bill. Now, this discoloration, since it's already folded, I'm going to fold it. But this discoloration here, if you are wondering about that, this is all smudging from being in a pocket, being wet in a pocket, or just using oil, or from oils from people's hands. So that is not an error. That's just basically bills rubbing together and transposing money between one another. Next bill. 0996. Nothing in the serial number on this guy. Now, one thing is super rare, but I have seen them, especially on some 20s, is mismatched serial numbers. But once again, I wouldn't say just go and look and hope you find that. That's not necessarily something that happens on the reg. But either way, very, very rare. Another thing to look for on most, well, not most, but on $20 bills is over-inking in the serial number. Like we've noticed in lots of videos on 2013 $1 notes and some 5s, as well as 2017 $1 bills, they have a lot of over-inking on the third digit. $20 notes generally have, I've seen a lot with over-inking here on this third to last digit from the right. So something to keep an eye out for. Look at the back of the note. Really wavy and folded up a little bit. This one has a corner fold. So nothing really there and nothing jumping out at me. Next bill, somebody was having some fun with highlighters or markers. So you can see two different colors there, blue and green, neither of which in those tones are part of US currency. We have a little bit of a, normally this little mark between his eyes isn't as abrupt or dramatic, but that's cool. A little bit of lack of ink in the serial number, but I would assume from condition of the bill, it's due to just damage. Once again, this stuff here is just transferred ink from other bills. Moving on. Now, actually, the thing that hops out at me almost immediately is this misprinted 8. Very, very cool. Normally, this is actually pretty noticeable. I mean, you got a double dotted 8 there. I'm going to hold on to this. This is really cool. Normally, I don't get such prevalence on little stray inking when it lays down the serial number, but this one does. I mean, here on this other 8, you don't see it as much. That's about normal to get a little dovetail there on the bottom portion of the 8. But as you can see, this one doesn't have it. This one doesn't have it. And then this one just laid down too much ink. So that's a minor error in its sense. So I'm not going to scream for joy or anything like that, but definitely cool, and I'm going to hold on to it. Next bill. Nothing in the serial number here. Folded. Look at the back. It's got some brown marks that look like sticky stuff. That's great. There's nothing there. This must have came from a similar thing, because this has that blue and almost a green, but then that red. So somebody was marking on the bills to either just show ownership of them or reception of them. Whatever the case may be, their kid was having fun, so on and so forth. But nothing here in the serial number, and that's going to pull from any value if it did have a minor collectible serial number. It actually bleeds all the way through. So set that aside. Getting down there to the last 4 bills in this lovely Hump Day search video. Another 2013 $20 note. This one's in better condition than those previous ones. It's got a little corner fold there. So if it did have a collectible serial number, you know, that would detract from value. Now, this is actually, now I'm looking at the back of it, it's actually been damaged quite a bit. That browning is generally from it being wet. So, and then getting to our last couple of bills as I knock my stuff all over the place, we do have some stray inking going on across Jackson's forehead here. Once again, unless it was a splotch, I wouldn't really call it an ink smear. So it's not anything dramatic enough for me to hold on to, but kind of cool. It's got that big fold in the middle though, so that kind of depresses me on collecting it. So I'm going to set that guy aside. We got our last two 20s here, which we'll just look at it at the same time. Nothing in the serial number on either one of those. They're both 2013, so they share the same qualities as far as what's on the bill. Plus, during the most recent series of $20 notes, there's not any changes in graphics. We pointed out the ones in the $100 note earlier, so you learned a little bit about that. Looking at the back of the bills, we got some damage to that guy, which I'll pull him down in a second. But this bottom note folded up, so that detracts from anything if it was worth more than $20. Not anything there. And then we got that schmudgel there. We're going to just kind of set this guy aside. So, after this wonderful 15-minute or so bill search, we did come across a couple things, and hey, I still have $700 or $800 from the sale of my trailer. We've got a nice Starnote. You know that I love Starnotes, so I'm definitely going to hold on to it. Cool Starnote. Got a nice $20 note, which is going to have that extra inked 8 there, so that's pretty neat. Got a double year note. Once again, more of an example than something that I would hold on to and jump for joy about, but cool. And then we got another double date note, double year note, that actually goes chronologically 1580 to 1625. I will look up the dates for these date notes. I hope you enjoyed the bill search video where we found a nice Starnote, a couple little minor OVERINK, and a couple date notes. Let me know what you have come across in your bill and coin search videos lately. And stay tuned on Friday for our giveaway with 15 prizes. We already have over 200 entries. 200. So for our 20,000 subscriber giveaway, we're giving away over $1,000 in prizes. Don't miss out. Jump in on the fun, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.